I'm John Hayden. Let's queer up the USA view. The Supreme Court ruled parents can opt out of LGBTQ plus topics at school. But it's not going how you might have thought. In Montgomery County, Maryland, the numbers are in and they tell a striking story. Now, Montgomery County was the lawsuit complainant that got all the way to the nation's highest court. The Supreme Court ruled that families can opt out of lessons conflicting with their religious beliefs, including instruction about LGBTQ plus people. So far, only 43 families have said bye-bye. That's less than 0.03% of the district's 160,000 students. Far-right activists hailed the decision in June as a win for parental rights. But the response in Maryland's largest district shows how little appetite parents may actually have to exclude their children from LGBTQ plus education. Now, in addition to lessons, some of the books and curriculum that were objected to include Uncle Bobby's Wedding, Intersectional Allies, We Make Room for All, and Planting the Rainbow, Places of LGBTQ plus History in Maryland. Those opting out have their children moved or assigned alternate work, a burden the district says wastes resources to accommodate the religious beliefs of a tiny minority. Local residents saw the numbers as validation and say they underscore a broader truth. And that truth is that when families are free to choose, most are going to choose acceptance. National LGBTQ plus activists say results from Maryland will dramatically guide how other communities make their decisions. And you know, the results might not be the same in all the counties in Maryland, and certainly not across America. But my gosh, this story gives me hope. This is a light in the darkness that we know is not the train coming at us. It's a little heartwarming. And it says maybe we're not as hateful as all the Republicans would have us think that they
would have us think so. 40 families out of 160,000, right? That probably were like, hey, maybe I don't understand it, but you know what? I'm okay with it, right? Like, you know, you know, these teaching curriculums teach kids about compassion, teaches them about things that they're not usually, you know, that they don't usually see, right, in their bubble, right? You know, so they're constantly telling us, the right is constantly telling us that we're all going to hell and that, you know, we're trying to indoctrinate children and that we're grooming children and all this horrible stuff that is just absolutely not true, you know? So it does give me a glimmer of hope, you know, but the reality is that the right wants stupid kids, okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they want your kids to be dumb. They don't want your kids to be well-rounded. They want your kids to just know 1 + 1 = 2, and that's it. And you know, that's not a great upbringing for a child. I mean, like, you know, you want your kid to know about everything and then decide on their own where they mix in better, where they fit in better, who they really are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, what a shock to someone that is kept at home, not allowed to meet new people, has never seen a black or brown person, and then they go somewhere and they're just like, wait a minute, what? All this really does exist? My parents have been holding me hostage, basically, you know, my whole life, and that's basically what they're allowing parents to do.
Yeah, kids get out of high school, they go to college, for many of them, not necessarily in Montgomery County, which is Baltimore and a very diverse area, but a lot of kids are coming from rural Alabama, rural Florida, rural Indiana, and they're being exposed to people that they weren't exposed to in high school. And knowledge is power. And the right knows that.
Yeah.
And if they can take away knowledge, then they can take away power. And we won't see the results of that now. It'll be 20 years from now, 15, 20, 25 years from now, when people don't have critical thinking skills, when they don't know the questions to ask. That's when we'll see the real repercussions of this denial of truth.
100%. And it's beginning now. We can see it.
Yeah.
You know, I have a millennial stepdaughter that if she doesn't use an app to let her know where she parked the car, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like, she will not know or be able to find this per se car. Okay? And that's critical thinking. This is just because we really do.
That kind of resembles me, Faye.
Are you now using your phone app to fucking see where you park your car?
Like, I won't be able to find it in the parking lot outside after the show.
There's 4 cars outside, and he's the only one that has a yellow one. And yet he'll still... Yeah, there'll still be an issue for him to find his car. But we will make sure that he does, all right? And that was no tea or no shade to my millennials out there. I love you, and I think it's great that you use your phone for everything, right? So, folks, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.